Hello, you lot. Welcome back to episode 3 of Operation Make No Sense. I spent some time AFK here. You might be able to see the problem. Yep, it spawned outside the farm. Clean up on Isle Iron. Now that we're done with that, I've teased this episode for long enough. Today, we're going to be beautifying the base. How are we going to do that? By starting with a little fishing shack. Though, there's some stuff we have to move first. Bye bye sugarcane! The reason I'm doing this is because in early game, fishing is a really useful way to get valuable items. But if you stay out at night, that's a good recipe for getting creeped. So I want to make a little building that would keep me relatively safe from mobs, but is still open enough for me to fish off it. I want to try something really different for me, using trapdoors as a floor. Tried using a combo of slabs and trapdoors for the roof, but it really wasn't working in this case. I planned some storage using hoppers and chests underneath. When an item comes reeling in, it would land on the hopper and be stored, but it didn't really work out. Finally figured out the roof. Slabs and stairs for a flat-looking but slightly inclined roof. Adding some detailing to hide the storage, and the problem with the trapdoor fence was that it blocked the fishing lure. So in the end I just used real fences and then fence gates to stop mobs getting in. Only issue with a trapdoor floor, you can open it. It's both a blessing and a curse. Wanted to add a bit more detail to the shack. Fence post, add it nicely. With lighting and slightly customized fences, the shack looks small but cozy. With the gates leading out shut, I don't think anything can get in. But that doesn't stop some surprise visitors from getting neighbourly. And occasionally we have drop-ins too. Oh no, creeper, please don't do it! Dang it! Oh well, let's just fish the night away. Okay, nice to see you, Skelly boy. Alright, quit firing at me! Alright, you're going down. Once daylight hit, decided to decorate the shack a bit with vines. Silly trader. Speaking of vines, I want to make my base look more overgrown, so I threw down some vines in strategic spots. This wasn't just for aesthetics, also figured it would be a useful escape if needed. Why would I need to escape? Well, you may not have noticed, but my base isn't exactly spawn-proof yet. So I went around adding torches to the cliffs and to the floor. Don't worry, the ones on the floor are not permanent. I went back to shack overnight to check for weak links. Unfortunately, there is. You may see a creeper over near the stone. And more skelly boys. Yeah, this isn't good enough. At least doing this shows me where I've missed. Ooh, that creeper's close. Now for the real test. Will a creeper ever get close enough to explode, or have I built this tall enough? Let's find out. Not gonna lie, it's pretty hard to get a clear shot on this guy. He didn't take the stairs. And he's coming back. As part of lighting up the area and making it look pretty, I decided to add some overgrown bushes to the lake area. By putting torches in it, it helps keep the area nice and bright. Also, most mobs can't spawn on leaves. Another thing I wanted to do to beautify the area was to bring life to the lake. At this point, I've just got lily pad starfished up, but they help a lot. Ultimately, spawn-proofing downstairs isn't enough. Mobs just spawn behind my house. There's been major improvements in lighting and making the place look better, but there's still work to be done. Right now, I'm trying to get the cliffs lit up. Means placing a lot of torches. I'll make it better once I have more resources. Later, went back to fishing. Wanted to see if I had any more drop-ins. Yep, of course. Okay, this dude can actually aim. Time to stop ignoring him. That dude wasn't the only unwanted visitor we had. Oh no, oh heck, I'm out! I wasn't sure what happened to the creeper, so I went to check. Guess he went down in one hit. After this, I went to the spider house for two things. First was to breed cats. Second was to kill spiders to fix my tools. Whilst there was a thunderstorm. I was thinking of going to the iron farm, but saw a skeleton horse. Like some journo, I just had to go investigate. Excuse me, sir, do you know your... Oh, okay. I don't mean to be hitting the horsies. In my defense, I'm not the only one hitting them. And we're done. That's 4 horses for our collection. Only thing is, I don't have anywhere to put them. So, after tying them up temporarily, I got started on the horse stables. First things first, I need to make a frame for this. I want to have separate stalls for each horse. I also don't want it to just be straight lines. This build is going to have corners. Remember, I want to work mostly with what I have. Don't want to tear down hills unless I need to. I've also made a little gap in the middle. This will be for a covered pathway. Now the detail. I'm using spruce logs and smooth stone mostly. Also, gotta put down some stone at the borders to keep the horsies from digging out. Because that's clearly what horses do. For the pathway, I'm going to make the roof out of leaves to make it appear more natural. And apply vines, of course. Thing is, I don't just have skeleton horses to worry about. My donkey needs a home too. Though, I need to get him off the ledge. And we're ready. Say hello to your new home. Just doing a bit of tidying on the path. After adding a bit of lighting, the stable is nearly ready. Another thing I wanted to do was to make the sides of the path look more overgrown using leaves. After that, needed to work on the roof. I'm using smooth stone slabs for this. Try saying that 3 times fast. Finishing up the logs, holding the stables up. Now for the fun part, getting the horsies in. The first horse I used a lead to get in, but it took forever. Seriously, it was almost tragic how many errors I made. Next 3 horsies, I just rode in. If I had half a brain. Now that we have a rough idea of how the stables should be, it's time to terraform. Yeah, the stables ain't done. Our donkey still needs one yet. But before I start on the other corners of the stables, I want to make sure to clean up the place a bit more. Have a nice canvas to work from. I'm trying to keep the general feel of natural Minecraft generation with this. So instead of going super detailed, I'm just replacing stone with grass and adding some hidden lighting. It doesn't look like much right now when half the grass is dirt. Give it time. While waiting for the grass to grow, I added a few flowers around the stables. Also, started adding some coarse dirt to the path. Another thing I wanted to do was to expand the farmland a bit further. I also added in a diagonal path, connecting the stables to my house. I gotta make it look fancy. I'm tearing out some crops, and you might be wondering, why? I thought you wanted more crops. I do, but I also want a path to a fishing shack. Once there's grass, I can add some path blocks. Won't that be snazzy? For now, I gotta wait and work on some more stuff in the meantime. For this bit, we're taking the terraforming not just to the hills, but to the lake as well. Adding in a bit of coarse dirt and path blocks, it almost looks like a muddy bank. Once I'm done with it, it looks so cool. But we can still add some life to this. I know coral don't normally grow in the mountains. It's all good. These are, tropical mountains? While getting everything done, I've been collecting bones from wild skelly boys. Now, we use the bones of the dead to bring back life to our mountain. It's kind of poetic in a sense. Well, the wandering lead salesman has some great deals today. Ilex that I hadn't found in the wild yet. That'll help add a little bit of extra colour to the base. I cleaned up some rails from the iron farm. Then continue terraforming. Now that the terraforming is done, I want to give you a good view of it. I think it turned out really well and looks so much better than endless stone. Now it's time to finish where I started. The skeleton horses have homes, but my donkey, new horsey friend, and random llama don't. Just some out of context info. I only finished the stable after some other projects that aren't in this video. If in future you see me catching the horse and llama, that's why. Just like before, have to keep our new friends from digging out. Decide to add some spruce fencing along the top of all the stables for detailing, which works really well for the low ones. At this point, we're taking the corner and working on the foundation of this new expansion. Man, the roof's gonna be tall. As so, working on the path that leads out towards the spider house right now. Yes, I will get rid of furnaces eventually. For now, I got bigger paths too. Pave. We'll workshop that. Now it's time to bring our animal friends in. And to raise the roof. Of course, I have to add vines. Excuse me? Now for one of the smaller things I worked on, fixing up the storage a bit. I never had enough item frames showing where things were stored. Well, now that's changed. Redstone stuff is now labelled. Speaking of redstone, who wants to watch me fail at it? Sugarcane farm time! Since I don't want growing at the lake anymore, I figured it would be better to grow it just at my mine entrance. So, I dug out a hole and started the work. I'm making the water all source blocks, because I won't be using a water stream to carry the items in this. I'm planning on using a hopper minecart track after I get the observers in properly. Just two, one for each end. Now for the wiring. Spoilers, I had to rewire this quite a few times. Trying to use slime blocks without having a good slime farm? Big mistake. Honestly, I ripped out the whole design and used regular pistons. And only one row of sugarcane. Yep, it works. For the minecart hopper track, I resort to using a Java-based unloader that doesn't work properly in Bedrock. But it doesn't need to work properly, working at all is good enough. The Bedrock run just needed too much space. And I should clarify, it doesn't stop the minecart, so it just unloads them one at a time, which is fine in a small farm like mine. Oh boy, you might have seen it in the list. Yeah, we're getting bees! With the silk touch on my axe, we've got this. Just gotta wait for this dude to go back home. Got it. And we've got a nice little home for you. I was hoping to breed up the bees and for them to use the beehives I made. But it didn't really. Excuse me? Blenderman. Well, now I have to get revenge. Not before I show you the permanent home of the bees. The basic idea is to put a section of flowers in on each side. Then to build up a system involving chests, hoppers, and dispensers. Before the dispensers go in, gotta get the bees in. As mentioned before, the bees didn't really fill up the hives, so I only had a limited amount through breeding. Set up the dispensers with buttons and yeah, it's not working. Even after checking the chest, no honeycomb was in there. The dispensers didn't work properly. I decided I'd try and get honey manually, but the bees were able to get out through the glass. Oi, cut it out! At least I got enough honey for one block. I couldn't figure out a way to keep the bees on their side of the room, so I decided to devote myself to something I could figure out. Take that, block thief. I didn't want to completely give up on the bees, so I went and got some more hives. Found 3 in one spot. How lucky! Added them in and had the same problem, that the dispensers still weren't working. I think I'll have to tear this down and follow a tutorial. For now though, I'd like to show you where we were and where we ended up with this base. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!